School districts versus the state. It's a trial years in the making, stemming from a decades-old Supreme Court ruling. Several districts accuse the state of failing to adequately fund their capital needs.
Things like school repairs, buses, and even books, and they argue it could impact their students' ability to learn. Rachel Louise Just with our ABC 15 political team walks us through day one in court and how the case impacts you.
Did that solve the problem?
No.
A case that advocates say could change the way school facilities are funded in Arizona is finally underway as of Tuesday. It's an issue that's been a discussion since before any kids currently in K through 12 were even born.
Before we can act with any confidence, we must determine with some certainty the true dimensions of the problem.
That's then Arizona Governor Fife Symington in 1994, responding to an Arizona Supreme Court ruling mandating fair funding for school facilities, especially in lower income districts.
Set one foot on Landmark School's campus and you notice the cracks on the stairs and on the walls.
And we showed you some of the decay Arizona schools were facing back in 2017.
That is sunlight coming through.
When a lawsuit alleging the state did not comply with the 1994 ruling was filed. Now, 7 years later, that trial begins. School districts and education advocacy groups, including the Arizona Education Association, are suing the state and a series of other defendants.
We have to make sure these schools are safe for kids. Last summer, there was a roof that fell down in a cafeteria. Thank goodness there were no students there. Several years before that, we had an entire structure almost buckle. Thankfully, it was on a weekend.
They argue lawmakers led by Republicans still failed to live up to this requirement because they've been defunding education.
It's unfortunate that this trial is even happening. We had been so hopeful for years and years that we would be able to settle this case.
Now, legislative Republican leaders have taken on the defense of the case from the Attorney General's office. One of the defendants today, State House Speaker Ben Toma, sharing with us this statement. We've already addressed this issue and have been well prepared for this trial since it was originally scheduled to begin in January 2023. Governor Hobbs chose to unnecessarily delay it. I look forward to reaching a positive outcome. At the trial Tuesday, state lawyers said ongoing budget negotiations are the reason why this trial was delayed and will now need to be resolved in court. If the education groups don't have the ruling go in their favor, the Arizona Education Association says they hope people who understand the value of education will instead take office in Phoenix.
I can't even imagine the fact that another generation of students are going to have to go in with like a hope and a prayer that something doesn't fall down on their head.
For ABC 15's political team, I'm Rachel Louise Just.